Let's go to Allie Bradley and start off there with the state of emergency in Eagle Pass, Texas. Allie, what's the latest at this hour?
Yeah, right now we still have a couple of hundred people that are down underneath that bridge. Let's get right to that live picture where we still see a couple of people down there in that staging area. So after they cross over from Piedras Negras, as you mentioned, most of them being from Venezuela, they're ushered into that space there where they're kind of in a staging space where they're waiting to be transported to the soft-sided facility. Sources telling me right now they have more than 2,500 people in capacity at that soft-sided facility. So that is why those people are underneath that bridge right now. And tragedy striking down there too. Yesterday, a 3-year-old boy swept away, drowning while he was trying to cross into Eagle Pass with his family there. Now, over the last 2 days, we've seen roughly 4,000 people stream into that small community. The sheriff telling me they just don't have the manpower to be down there at the river, so they are really leaning heavily on Texas DPS and Border Patrol right now. The sheriff telling me that he knows and believes that some of these individuals crossing don't have good intentions, so his priority right now is keeping his community safe. And really, this is like deja vu for everybody down there, because 2 years ago to the day, in the same sector just an hour away, we saw roughly 16,000 migrants underneath the bridge. They were mostly from Haiti then. Remember, this happened in Del Rio. Now these individuals are arriving by train into the Eagle Pass area. Despite efforts by the rail company to stop this, they thwarted roughly 60 trains that were carrying migrants that were heading to the U.S. southern border. Texas Governor Greg Abbott, meantime, saying that he is deploying more active duty soldiers through the National Guard down there to the riverbanks, where he claims that the federal government, Border Patrol, cut the razor wire down there, allowing the migrants to come up from the riverbanks onto the grounds there in Texas. Governor Abbott saying that these soldiers are going to be down there installing new razor wire. They're also going to be preventing migrants from even entering the United States. Now, this all comes as the Border Patrol is reporting that 13,000, this is a record-breaking number here, came across into the Tucson sector last week alone, and that set the stage perfectly for the cartel to really take advantage of these vulnerable areas like Eagle Pass. Take a listen to what the Border Patrol Council had to say about that.
This administration has been thinking about and talking, hey, we want to be humanitarian. They're not being humanitarian. They're causing a bigger humanitarian problem. They're putting more people in the hands of dangerous individuals because of their lack of political will to address that there is a problem down there and stop the flow of these individuals that are coming in that we know nothing about.
Okay, so back out here live in Eagle Pass, we see those individuals still staged out there, and we can tell you here DHS deploying roughly 800 active duty soldiers down there to also assist. Now, it's important to note, though, when it comes to what these National Guard soldiers are really going to be doing, they're not actually going to be physically deterring people, stopping them, pushing them back in the river. That's not what they're going to be doing. They're going to be helping maintain control. They're going to be doing administrative jobs down there. They're going to be ushering people in. They're not going to be stopping this flow like a lot of people here. Soldiers are going down there to stop this. That's not what the situation is. They're going down there to manage this situation and assist. Now, DPS and Texas National Guard, we do see them actually deterring people, Marky. So that is a situation down there right now. And CBP, they've taken their officers from the bridge. They're now down helping to process as well.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.